This is an old root cellar. Most of the homestead buildings have been torn down. You wouldn't even know that anybody ever lived on the plains out here in southwest Nebraska 100 years ago. But I'm here to tell you, every once in a while you find these though. The old root cellar is where they could store their supplies and their foodstuffs, and it was cool down there, and they could last a lot longer with their different foods, from potatoes or whatever they could store and want to store down there. It was an excellent place to do just that. And it had a couple other things that was pretty important too. Number one was, if a bad storm came up, they didn't have no CNN or any weather channel telling them to look out. Or they didn't have Rich Barnett over here on McCook, Nebraska on the radio station telling you to get to some shelter. If they saw a real bad cloud, rather than to risk tornado, they'd grab the woman and the kids and they'd come down and they'd hide in these cellars. I'm here to tell you, more than a few lives were saved by that cellar. But I also talked to some people that in the dead of winter, if they ran out of fuel, they'd go down in there, and when you're 6 foot down in the ground, even though you'll be darn cold without a fire, you can survive a lot better in a cellar than you would out on an old open wood framed house with no insulation and no wood or no way to heat the house whatsoever. You got a lot better chance. So you might want to keep that in mind in a day after scenario when you think about building a homestead. Maybe the first thing you might want to think about building is a cellar before you build your house. Always be thinking safety. And also the Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it might just do that. Rate this film.